from the blackest corners of your mind, they call, pulling you deep into shadow, twisting your senses, keeping you from sleep. It's time to face your darkest fears. This is Tales to Terrify. Good evening, children of the night, and welcome. Before we dig into our frightening feast this evening, I'd like to let you know about the latest release from regular contributor, friend of the podcast, and all-around weird and wonderful dude, Frank Oreto. His latest collection, It's Dark in Here, 21 Weird Tales and 1 Poem About Squirrels, has just been released by Dragon's Roost Press. Here's just some of what you'll find inside its strange and twisted pages. A baby-eating monster on a mission from God, your average everyday weirworm next door, small gods who expect enormous sacrifices, Halloween decorations that keep back the real terrors, and of course, a Las Vegas wedding chapel preacher and the ghost of Elvis Presley doing their best to save the world. You can get your hands on your own copy by searching in Amazon, or stay tuned to our social media this weekend for a chance to win a digital copy. Either way, you're in for a wickedly weird ride, and I personally cannot wait. Tonight, we have 3 tales for you, about an ominous voice calling from the woods, a dangerous bargain to break a curse, and a descent into madness at the hands of a monstrous clock. Our first story for the evening comes from Bret Chandler. Bret Chandler lives near Chicago with his family and cats. He loves to play music and write. For a living, he teaches middle school social studies, and after having served middle school lunch duty, very little terrifies him. Children of the night, join me for Bret Chandler's The Voice Past the Tall Jack Pines, a Tales to Terrify original.
That ominous voice out past the tall jack pines whispers, almost a faint whistle in the wind. It speaks in barely audible tone, soft, seductive, sinister. You hear it sitting on the blanket you laid out by the bloodroots near the edge of the woods. You want to ignore it, it's nothing, but then you hear it again, and then again. It makes you put down your bourbon and study the rows of trees stretching to the sun. You squint your eyes. The shadows between the pines move with the wind. You listen. There it is again. Hi there. You swear you've heard that grim, sardonic voice before, so many times. That old creepy man with the brown teeth and bad breath, who rubbed your shoulders for far too long and winked at you in church. Hi there. Your camp counselor with the pockmarked face who loved to make you cry in the dark. Hi there. The bitter old manager of the burger shack who hated kids and rolled his eyes every time you came in for your shift after school. Hi there. That creepy demon in your dreams. That sophomore bully who held you against the lockers. That meeting you had with your boss just a few weeks before she let you go. So many times. This time, there's nobody there, just the voice. You get up, walk through the mix of dirt, flowers, and weeds until you reach the first pine, misshapen with brown leaves at the bottom. Voices. So many voices. They whisper over each other, a cacophonous symphony of mutterings. You can't understand any of them, but they seem anxious, perturbed that you're there. Only one cuts through the clatter. That same seductive voice, a bit raspy now. Come on in. You still see nothing, but you imagine a smile behind the eager voice. It stutters before insisting again. Come on in. One swallow, and you grab the lichen on the trunk of the crooked jack pine. At your feet, the blood roots abruptly end. The sun stops. A clear, demarcated line between the woods and where you stand. You know that the next step forward will take you into a different place. It's cooler there, markedly cooler. You feel it on your fingers clutching the trunk of the tree. Your heart races, your breath stutters, and the voices grow louder, more chaotic. You don't know if it's curiosity or some deep subconscious need, but something compels you to take one step into the woods. When you do, the voices grow louder. Their excitement swells, and that one raspy, sardonic voice says over them, in a giggle, "Yes, yes, yes." You can't even hear yourself think anymore. You just feel pure amygdala, terror and excitement at the same time, all right and all wrong, until your other leg just lifts and carries the rest of your body forward. Silence. You see your breath. Your body shakes in the cold. The colors, the shades of green and brown mixed with the yellow of the sun are all gone. The tall jack pines stretch up to a gray, cloudy sky that hovers over the black and white woods. Your gray hands shiver, and you put them under your armpits, hugging yourself. You pan around the colorless woods until slowly you start to see the hairless faces appear. They emerge between the trees, sad and tired, with dark, sunken eyes, like they've been hollowed out for centuries. Those faces rest on slumped bodies, naked and without genitalia. You start to hear them speak, like the volume slowly turning up on a speaker, until you can make out their words. "Why'd you come? Why didn't you listen to us? I couldn't understand you," you say. "We warned you to stay out. But that's not what I felt. You shake your head, put your hands over your face. "I don't know what I felt." "Go back!" a voice yells. "Go back!" You pull your head out from your hands. All those sad, tired faces. You see who they are. They're all you, a you emptied of all life. One clear, lucid thought enters your mind. Leave. An about face, right into the wide red eyes of the dark, shadowy figure blocking your exit. A deep sense of terror rips through your body, followed by a heavy dread when you realize you know this creature. It's the same one you've met every single time you've come out here. Every time you've heard that voice. The voice that seems to multiply with every new lifetime. The one that brings you to these woods, defeated and with a bottle of bourbon. The one that calls you to the edge of the jack pines. The voice of your nightmares. You told yourself you'd remember. You wouldn't do it again. You wouldn't come near these woods. But if you did, between the feelings of all right and all wrong. You'd stay out and wouldn't step past the blood roots. The creature opens a wide, sharp-toothed smile. It licks its lips. Your dread fades into a sense of the inevitable, like a bad dream where you know you're going to die. But you have to die this death in order to wake up again. You know what's coming. It will suck you dry, dispose of this version of you into the woods, and wait for the next to come with fresh defeat and loss, and the stench of bourbon, just as this one did today. A tear drops. Why, this fate is yours for all eternity. You don't know. It just is. You start to tell yourself, I'll remember. The mouth of the creature widens into a horrible, banshee scream. Everything goes black, just like before you were born, and Mother takes you from the doctor. Her baby, her perfect baby, screaming with a lifetime ahead of it.
That was Bret Chandler's The Voice Past the Tall Jack Pines, as read by Michelle Kane. By day, Michelle navigates the mundane world of her day job where spreadsheets and meetings rule the hours. But when she's behind the microphone, she transforms into something entirely different. As a narrator for Tales to Terrify, Creepy, and Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, Michelle breathes life into tales that make spines tingle and hearts race, weaving through narratives of ghosts, monsters of the human variety, and the supernatural. Beyond her passion for storytelling, Michelle is a devoted mom to both an amazing kiddo and a sweet doggo. When she's not narrating bone-chilling tales and juggling work and parenthood, Michelle enjoys reading, watching movies, getting outdoors, and, sort of, playing the upright bass and cajon. Michelle can be found on Instagram and Threads at Michelle_Kane_. Thank you, Michelle. Our second tale tonight comes from Allister Nelson. Allister Nelson is a Pushcart Prize-nominated author whose work has appeared in the British Fantasy Society, Apex Magazine, Illumin, Renewable Energy World, the National Science Foundation, Luna Station Quarterly, Prismatic Press, Coffin Bell, and others. Her work has been curated by Kevin J. Anderson and nominated for Poland's top fantasy prize. Listen with me, children of the night, to Allister Nelson's One Night with the Lindworm, a Tales to Terrify original.
The maidens went in, full-fleshed, rosy-cheeked, white-dressed. They came out as clean-picked bone. The Lindworm had come, hungry and demanding, to the town crossroads as soon as the prince had set off to find a bride. I am the elder, a bride for I before a bride for you. Then promptly swallowed the king and queen's air. They say you can hear the prince and Lindworm's betrotheds weeping deep in his scaly belly. Something spoken of a white rose and red rose, a greedy-fingered, belly-swollen princess with a formerly barren womb, and a hazelthorn witch, better left alone. Fae are mercurial, and roses have thorns. Better to be a palace maid like me and only gossip about royals, not rule. It was I who washed the bloody chamber of the Lindworm each morning. From chest up, he was a feral, handsome man. Long tangles of platinum blonde hair, stark muscle and arms. Then, below waist, serpent tail, dragon leg, wings, and hide. He watched me from his lounging bed, gnawing a bone as I washed the latest wreckage of his appetite.
Tulene, thou art pretty enough to eat.
Tut, tut, Matthias. I'm no princess and cannot break your curse. Only she of pure heart can. Your soulmate.
I am not cursed. Far more whole to be a beast, and I hunger. Willst thou feed me, tender Tulene?
I collected a forgotten pinky with a bit of meat left from one of his victims, and tossed it into his nest. The bedsheets soiled with guts and grime. Matthias chewed the appendage with needle teeth. No propriety around a dirt-poor bitch like me. I grimaced, then curtsied. Never say I do not serve Lindworms well, Prince Matthias.
Why do they call me Matthias, Tulene? I am Prince Lindworm. I am beast, not human, ne'er human. I eat humans.
His yellow sclera glowed like coals as I blew out the lantern, leaving him to his dusky, rotted peace as I stood in the doorway. Beats me, Prince. I know not the ways of royals. You'll have the last princess tonight to kiss and wed. Place your hope and heart on her to be your soulmate. The diviners say she is your last chance. The other countries have caught on. No more princesses are coming. Bah! I closed the door and crossed myself, locking the monster in tight. The 13th attempted wedding to Matthias the Lindworm happened as usual. A princess that soiled herself, attempting to kiss Matthias. The Lindworm bit her gently on the lip, devoured 3 oxen roasted whole, stuffed with sweet fall apples. Then carried her in his coils away to his bedchamber. Then he bedded her and broke her neck. I knew because I was always the one to check to see if the bride survived. Head chambermaid of the Lindworm. For the king and queen hated my father. My father had once hunted in the king's woods for food for my pregnant mama, and killed a royal hart. That got us through the winter. But the Hazelthorn witch cursed Mama to die at the queen's issue, back when the queen still trusted witches, and had not been tricked herself into birthing a monstrous Lindworm twin to her beloved, now devoured, royal heir. I went in at dawn to check on Matthias again. Dead the bride was, as expected, and the Lindworm was proud as pie, belly propped up full on his tail coils. So now, Prince Matthias, you are stuck. No more brides. You'll have to rule Norway on a throne fit for a monster, always hungering for girls. You're the last of your line, never to pass on the Haraldson blood. Your armies will rebel, civil war will break out, the peasants and merchants will turn on you, sellswords will come, and we common folk will all die. Happy now, bastard? I was angry, gathering up the girls' bones and burning them in the crackling fire I had started in the hearth. Matthias picked a rib clean, and the souls of the prince and princesses in his great gullet cried. He bade them shut up, then looked at me contemplatively with snakish eyes.
I shall eat my enemies.
And what of us common folk? Have I not been friend to you, Prince Lindworm?
You are my only friend, Tulin. The Hazelwood Witch cursed us both, and thou, above all, should know what breaks curses. Tender, Tulin. I have seen you reading fairy tale books under the table at my weddings. I do not blame you. They are boring affairs.
I thought back to primary school, how every tale had ended, and the scene I had read last night from the Rose Fairy book. Snow White. A kiss? Pfft! I hate you, Prince Matthias. Well, hate and pity. Why would I kiss you?
Because Norway is running out of time.
I looked at my reflection in the mirror. I had always been plain, and the blood on my dirty patchwork dress made it no better.
You wouldst be queen, Tulin. I would spoil thou in satin and pearls, wage crusades in your name, and bring back the spoils of Jerusalem and Persia for our children. Coat you in minks and foxfur, father your babes, feed you sweet honey and vanilla cakes. You could make me man, us cursed by the Hazelthorn Witch, then whole through your bravery.
I cursed inwardly. He was right. Curses bounced off each other in fairy tale logic, breaking each other like Cinderella's glass slippers at midnight when forced to react against each other. Well, here goes nothing, Matthias. The Hazelthorn Witch cursed Mama to die in childbirth, and I too. If I want to survive childbirth, I must break my curse. And I know of no one else in all the kingdoms that was cursed by that blasted witch, besides us and your terrible Queen Mother.
Pucker up, sweet Tulin. I promise I will savor our kiss.
He tasted of charred bone. Suddenly, a great feral wind whipped my skirts and his snakeskin up into frenzy. I held on to Matthias's rugged, scaled arms for dear life, and the fey wind of green fire ripped his skins and clothes from us.
Hold on,
he hissed. When it was over, he lay naked in bed with me. All blonde man, handsome, freshly washed in a gory bed of horror. I, bare in his arms. Matthias smiled, still fey-eared and needle-teethed. And I laughed at the marvel, and lust for gold lighted in me, and bed need for a man that could sate my desire for such a majestic, fearsome creature as King Lindworm ignited in the depths of my soul. Kiss me again, Prince, I commanded, tracing my hand down his chest, his abs hard as tan rock. Matthias's platinum hair spilled across my breast, and it turned out he knew how to pleasure a bride just as much as he knew how to hurt one. The pain and beauty of our joining was an intoxicating potion of release.
You are my queen, Tulin.
We wed that night, and forced the disgraced king and queen into exile. Matthias was ruthless, but just as king, and everyone forgot the dead prince. The princesses' kingdoms were subjugated and swore fealty to the fey warlord Prince Matthias and his fearsome bride. We ruled over all Europa by the end of Matthias's hoary reign, and he and I never aged. A strange after effect of breaking the Hazelthorn Witch's curse. When our reign met its 50th year, and our children had prospered, we handed our eldest daughter Heidi the throne, crown, mitre, and keys to the castle, and Matthias and I eloped to the mountains, Our children all had Matthias's reptilian beauty and elven ways, and had formed alliances through marriage and strategy through the continent. We were content to watch them prosper through the many generations from afar, retired as jolly man and wife. You can still find us, Matthias and Tulene Haraldsson, today in lupine meadows and fjords, fishing and canoodling, hunting and singing, and sometimes fair maidens go missing from backwoods trails, leaving only bone behind, some blood. For my husband is always hungry.
That was Allister Nelson's One Night with the Lindworm, as read by Sara Sheckells. Sara Sheckells has been wickedly witchy for as long as she can remember. In fact, her first onstage role was that of the Wicked Witch of the West when she was 7. A former academic turned audiobook narrator, Sara has recorded well over 100 titles and is an Earphone Award recipient for ensemble narration. Sara has also been listed among Audiophile magazine's Voices to Know. Thank you, Sara. Our final tale tonight comes from Jonathan Agar. Jonathan Agar started reading Pet Sematary much too early, and as a result, writes stories that venture into the morbid and macabre. He is currently pursuing his MFA and trying to stop working in factories owned by billionaires. He has previously had work published in Purdue Calamet's Best of Student Writing anthology. Listen with me, children of the night, to Jonathan Agar's Delirium, a Tales to Terrify original.
Tick, tock, goes the big white clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Those sounds are slowly killing me. With each tick, I'm reminded of how I am oh so alone. With each tock, the depression steadily increases. I am dying an infinite death. Tick, I am reborn. Tock, I am sacrificed to the monster living within that big white clock. The tick, tock of the clock has permeated my dreams. That monster now chases me within my sleep. Oh, my sleep? How precious. I haven't slept in days or weeks. I don't have a clue. I've lost all sense of time in this gleaming white place, completely devoid of windows. White. All I see is white. I am sick of white. I continuously contemplate slashing my wrists just to get a little color around here. I'm drowning in the vast sea of white, and the whitest thing of all is that God-forsaken clock. Tick, tock. The monster approaches. Tick, tock. Oh, how I hate that monster. Tick, tock. Oh, how I hate that clock. Blame my blatant blasphemy. Blame my blatancy. Blame me for all I've seen. Blame me for all of this. I don't care. God damn it, I don't care anymore. I just want this monster to leave me be. Tick, tock. Why won't the monster let me rest in peace? Tick, tock. Leave me be, you goddamn devil. The monster left me out a plate of food again. At least it resembles food. I can't tell if it's bait or is just trying to fatten me up. Either way, I won't make a move towards that plate. I can't. It's not worth the risk. The smell of it turns my stomach anyway. I've got to destroy the clock. I must kill the monster, slay the dragon that haunts my soul. But I can't bring myself to get close to that clock. Tick, tock. I can hear it breathing. Tick, tock. I can feel it inside of me as I throw up blood and bile on the ever-dirtying floor. I must run to my closet to hide. This seems to be the only place the monster can't reach me. Thus, the majority of my time is spent in this closet, swimming in a pool of my own vomit. Puking is the only thing I can do with regularity anymore. With my bloated belly and ghastly deteriorating body, I'm beginning to look like one of those starving children they show on television to guilt you into sending your coffee money their way. Those little bastards shouldn't be drinking coffee anyway. The tick-tock of that horrible clock is distant, nearly audible. The monster appears to be slumbering. It hardly ever needs sleep anymore. It seems to obtain the majority of its energy from my fear, feeding off me like a giant parasite, trying to consume my soul. But that cannot happen. I won't let it. I've got to strike. I've got to destroy the monster deep within that clock, and I must do it now. Now or never, as they say. I don't know when it will sleep again. At this rate, I may not be able to see it happen. Tonight is the night. Tonight I regain my freedom. Tonight I kill the monster. Tonight I destroy the clock. With hammer in hand, I slowly open the door and peer out into the white hallway. Only the faintest sound of the tick-tock penetrating my dreams. Ding-dong, the clock is dead. The evil clock is dead. I have finally defeated the monster. I feel as though the weight of the world has been lifted from my chest. This is the first moment I have been truly happy since I became trapped with evil incarnate. That feeling is punctuated by my appetite returning with a vengeance. I notice the plate, still resting on the floor. PB&J's, my favorite. Even if they seem a little stale, I find myself able to scarf down the entire plate. It comes with a hard pain in my gut, but those 5 minutes of heaven were well worth the sting. I can feel my eyes start to droop closed. I can't wait to sleep. Sleep how I've missed you, my darling. I violently awake to the booming sound of tick-tock and immediately evacuate my stomach of every drop all over my pristine white blankets. The tick-tock is louder than ever and much faster than it ever had been. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. The monster is stronger now, and it's charging at me. I shoot out of bed so quickly I grow dizzy, and I clumsily sprint my way through the white hallway toward my sanctuary. The tick-tock grows louder still as I lunge myself into the closet and slam the heavy white door shut. Oh, Lord, what have I done? My futile attempt to rid myself of this nightmare only succeeded in unleashing the beast from its cell. The monster is now free to hunt, and I'm its prey. Honestly, I've never told the truth. I have no idea what this means or where I picked it up, but still I find that I have etched it into every available inch of my sanctuary. My sanatorium is more like it these days. I have made this bed, yet I can't sleep in it. Time may as well have stopped completely. I've been here forever, or so it seems. I think I'm starting to lose it, and by it I mean, well, everything. I've been degaussed. I can hardly remember anything anymore. My name, my address, my family, all gone. There is nothing left in my brain other than the thoughts of the monster. That damn monster. How I hate the sound of it breathing from outside my door. Tick-tock, tick-tock. I've been having visions, hallucinations, if you will, of the monster ripping at my flesh, pulling all the meat from my bones as I scream in agony. Its razor-sharp teeth pierce my flesh, and all I can do is cry out. I can almost feel the pain the monster has induced in my imagination. I can't believe how real these nightmares seem. Are they still called nightmares when you don't sleep anymore? Tick-tock, tick-tock. I can hear it chuckling, belittling my growing frustrations as I descend from atop the slide that is what is left of my sanity. I'd rather be in the sandbox right now, or on the swings. They've never let me down. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Those sounds are picking apart my brain like vultures taking sustenance from a dead wildebeest on the Serengeti. I fear what the monster will feast on when my skull has been sucked dry. I can't handle this anymore. I'm going to die here and soon if I don't do something now. This ends tonight, one way or another. I peer out the crack under the white door of my sanctuary. The monster is nowhere in sight. The tick-tock, however, is still present. As best I can tell, that awful sound is coming from the bathroom. I slowly make my way down the hallway, taking special care to make as little noise as possible. The only chance I have in overtaking this fiend with which I currently reside is to sneak up on it. Otherwise, it's curtains. From outside the lavatory, the tick-tock was deafening. With my heart beating so hard my chest was about to burst, I dove into the bathroom and crashed hard into the pearly white porcelain. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. The monster's haunting me, I just know it. I pull back the shower curtain, but the hideous beast is nowhere in sight. I'm cracking up, I think to myself, as I stare at my ugly mug in the mirror. God, my once good looks are fading fast. My eyes are all sunken in and purple. And to top it off, my hair has apparently fallen out in huge chunks. My head is completely bald, save for a few random tufts of golden blonde hair. It's a horrendous sight to behold, especially with those giant teeth growing from my crooked jowls. I sit in my closet, cut off from the monster mocking me from outside my door. Tears sting my eyes as I stare steadily at the hunk of mirror in my blood-soaked right hand. Tick-tock, tick-tock. I will not let this evil thing get me. There is no way in hell I am going to let it get me. I won't give it the pleasure of doing me in. I can't let it win. I close my eyes as tightly as I can muster and watch as the demon's face dramatically changes from smile to snarl as I grip tightly and press the shard of glass against my jugular.
That was Jonathan Agar's Delirium, as read by Stephen Gagin. Stephen Gagin is a voice actor and narrator from Boston, Massachusetts. Stephen has written 2 books in the military thriller genre that are available on Kindle. He has participated in several other podcasts and can be found on his website, stephengagin.com. Thank you, Stephen. Well, children of the night, the hour is late and we've run out of tales to tell. For now. Tales to Terrify is made possible by the tremendous generosity of our supporters on Patreon and PayPal. Incredible fans like Lestle Baxter, Amanda Carrillo, Amanda Gottfried, and Orion D. Hegre, whose generous support keeps these lights on and flickering ominously. If you're not a supporter, head over to patreon.com/Tales to Terrify. You'll find all kinds of perks, like ad-free episodes, bonus content, and one-of-a-kind collectibles. Every dollar goes back into this show, and we appreciate your support so much. Want another way to support the show that doesn't cost you a cent? Head over to Podchaser, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts and drop us a 5-star review. You'll not only put an unnaturally wide smile on our faces, but help new listeners discover our terrifying tales, too. You can show your love of the show out in the world with some Tales to Terrify merch. TalesToTerrify.com/merch will take you to our TeePublic store, where we've got a great collection of creepy custom and curated designs. Tales to Terrify is produced by Seth Williams, Meredith Morgenstern, Andrew Gibson, Crystal Hammond, Spencer Disparty, and myself, Drew Sebastini, with original theme by Nebulous Entertainment. Tales to Terrify is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives license. Join us again next week as we're hunted by a bloodthirsty legend from more Tales to Terrify.